Right, welcome back to Tales from the PowerAge. Hope you're all well. Hi guys, we've got the normal crew here.
Hello.
Good to see you. And for those eagle-eyed of you will notice, we've got another chap with us today. We've got a rock legend in Gary Moat. Hi Gary, how are you doing?
He's cool.
Excellent, great. You're looking brilliant, by the way. So Gary heads up Burnout Wreck. It's his band, and we'll be touching on that as we go through that. So really looking forward to that. But for those of you who didn't know, Gary used to drum in a band called Heavy Pettin, and that takes us back to our early teens. And Gav and I met Gary back in 1987. It's probably more late teens, actually. I know it's hard to believe looking at us, but got a couple of things. Says that is you, right? Please confirm that is your signature.
Yeah.
There you go, brilliant. And Gav, you saw, I think you saw Gary a little bit before that, right?
Yeah, actually, I think you were the first band I ever saw live, because I saw it, and Jamie as well. We both saw you supporting Kiss, so at Wembley. So that was my first ever gig, and that was proud that you guys were the first people.
Yeah, just a small affair, eh?
Yeah, that was pretty impressive stuff, isn't it, with Ozzy and with Kiss?
Yeah. Wembley was just nuts, you know. I just remember when the curtains opened and I was sat behind my drum kit, I just felt like the size of a mouse, you know, looking at that. And all the people, it was just like, oh my God.
What a thing to say you've done, though.
Yeah. It was just great. It was great.
And I read somewhere that Gene Simmons took a shine to you guys. Did he want to manage you or just help you out? Or?
Gene was really great, you know. You don't know what to expect when you meet someone of that stature, really, do you? You know, it's like he'd been, you know, a heavy metal rock god for years, you know, in our lives, and then you get the chance to support them, and it's when we met him. But he was really great. He was really great.
Right.
He came into the dressing room every gig and just stood there looking at us and laughing at us, you know. I think probably our accent and the amount of alcohol that we necked before we went, you know, just shaking his head like a dad, you know. No.
He doesn't drink, does he?
Oh, well, you know, I don't know.
Allegedly.
It was a long time ago, so yeah.
Did you speak to any of the other guys in the band? Was Vinnie Vincent in the band then?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Quite.
That many different things. Yeah, it was good. I mean, you know, I used to stand there underneath the back of the drum riser, you know, and watch the roadie push it back and forward, you know, all the electronics. Poor guy was struggling like underneath a big tank or whatever that was at the time, you know.
It was a tank, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a tank. Bloody hell. And tell me, did you get any plectrums or anything? Did you get, or drumsticks?
No, but back to your original question, you know, yeah, Gene, he obviously liked the band. You know, it wasn't just the buy-on money, you know. If they don't like you, they're not going to let you on with them in the first place, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, he ended up, he sent us a demo of, I think it was about 4 songs, where possibly using them, which would have meant that they would have been on Rock Ain't Dead, the second album, if they used any of the tunes. But you know, we were just really stupid in them days, and we just didn't use any of the tunes, which, looking back, was probably one of the biggest mistakes in life, you know, because if we had recorded one, obviously it would have done well because Gene had written the blooming thing, you know, but yeah, it just didn't feel right. We hadn't done that, and we up until then, we had never played anybody else's songs, just our own. So yeah, we were just young and.
I can see why you wouldn't want to if you've got some cracking songs ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the usual Gene, all those kind of songs, all these, these sexual innuendos and stuff, like a hot knife through butter and things like that.
That's exactly, Gary, that's exactly what I was thinking. When you were talking then, I was thinking of the Young and Wasted, and some of those tracks fits like a glove. Yeah.
Excellent. So, he was great. But anyway, it was a great time. So, yeah.
And then a few years later, we saw you with Magnum as well. Do you have any memories of that tour? 87 it was.
Yeah. That was a really odd tour for us at the time. We had changed musical direction, obviously. And we had brought keyboards into the songs,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And
Gordon played them, didn't he?
Yeah, Gordon played keyboards.
Yeah.
And he could always play keyboards, but with the trying to crack America really, and the pressure from the record company trying to get you to become more commercial, like everybody was in the mid '80s. Trying to go
the era for it. Yeah, everybody did, didn't they? With Saxon, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Saxon were lucky. Saxon were a big band. They did what was it? They done "Ride Like the Wind," and the cover and that really did really good for them, because they done really well for them. But but again, we just we were a twin guitar band, and we should have kept it that way, And there was half the band are, for that, half the band are for trying to progress and get some keyboards in it back then, So but wasn't really the best plan at the end of the day. Yeah, bumped out right many keyboards. Okay.
So how did you start playing? How did that work out, Gary? Because I think you're quite friendly with Gordon before the band. How did that all kick off?
Myself and Gordon met at secondary school, in probably second year secondary school. I think we kind of knew each other really, but it wasn't until then that he said to me, "I play guitar, by the way, and I've heard that you hit pots and pans, So we got together, and I went round there and house, and that was that. So I don't know, we must have been 13, 14, something, together, and his mum came running into the lounge, and I had a pair of drumsticks, and I was playing a leather couch that she had just brought, and she went mental, because I'd done the drum.
Familiar with that?
We've been there.
So that's an awful long time ago. Goodness sake. But we done that, and then we just, ever since then, we were all the way right up through writing songs together. Right through until, I don't know, 2015, so.
It's amazing.
Wow.
A lifetime, really. Many lifetimes.
Good memories, though. So what were your influences at the time? Who did you used to play along with?
Well, we used to come home from school, and, with our mates and stuff, and we used to grab tennis rackets and stuff and headbang to Status Quo albums or something, or Queen, or just everybody at the time, all the rock stuff, of the early 70s.
Sounds like us lot, because we met at secondary school as well. So
yeah, probably second year actually in many respects.
Yeah, it was, and it was the music that linked us lot here, us Phil here, and a few others. There's the music and it went through. It's a big bob when you're that age, especially I think when you're lads. I don't know, and rock music it gets older, doesn't it? It's something special.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the. You're talking about Kiss again. That was like the Destroyer album. I remember all my mates. So starting to get into that, and sure, Alice Cooper and stuff, and other, just all sorts of things, just great times when you're young, and you're just finding all this new music. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, that's all you've got to worry about.
Yeah, exactly.
Having to get the bus to the record shop to actually bloody get it. Just play it. That's the thing, wasn't it? How am I going to get
spend your wages only on records? That's it.
Yeah. And tap your mother for booze. Anyway,
so moving from those days to more recent times, you're now the singer, the guitarist. How did that happen with Burnt Out Wreck? How did you make that transition?
Just obviously writing songs for as long as I have, and Gordon showed me how to play guitar in the first place, and then I just kept playing guitar, kept writing songs, and decided that I should just bite the bullet and go it myself and just record them, and so I did. And the first album, Swallow, 2017 came out, and it's there. Can you see it? I do. It's a big
I've got it there for you.
Yeah.
There you go. That's great. Look, I got them all. Look, you.
Put a big advert on the screen for a while for you.
Yeah.
So but you always sang backing vocals, didn't you, before? So you must have had an incredible voice doing backing vocals. Because hearing it now, it's a really powerful voice.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, if you listen back to the HP source, if you listen back to all the tunes and you listen to all the high backing vocals, then that's me that's hitting them,
Cool.
And obviously grabbing Hamey by the nuts to get him up there in the first place, because when we first started, we didn't sing that way at all, it's
right.
Everything was on the lower range, and then it just ended up the way it did, and then Hamey developed this crazy scream of a voice going on, and yeah.
You've got to have that difference, haven't you? Got to be high so it breaks through.
Yeah, I think that we it's just for me, I prefer it, obviously like as you say, Biff sings in a higher register, I like Udo and Rob Halford, Gordon Scott, obviously, and anybody that's up there giving it large in the party mode, that's what you want to listen to, I don't like growlers and grunters, and it's just don't do that,
I mean, you've literally just listed off. You've picked out Biff is my ultimate. You've just listed off Bond there for Dill. You just listed off all of our ultimate. Yeah, Rob Halford for Gav. You listed all of our heroes off there, Gary. Well done. You've done very well. Over that, you've done your homework and you've watched all of our pods because we talk about all those boys.
Yeah, no. No, just that's all the influences. It's inside. Inside is all, I suppose. Growing up.
Yeah, definitely. Of an age.
Yeah.
So Gaps, I think you've got a question around the band and getting them together, I think.
Gary, how easy was it for you to get Burnt Out Wreck off the ground?
Well, we went in and I got Adrian Dunn, my old guitar player from Mother's Ruin. He was in the band with myself and Gordon, and called Mother's Ruin in the 1992 kind of time, 91, 92 we started. And on and off, we never done much. We just played some gigs here and there, and over the years. So when it came to recording the album, he had played on earlier demos of some of the tracks, and when I listened to them, I just thought I couldn't hear them without his lead parts in them, because he's such a cracking player, that. So I managed to talk him into coming and recording the first album with me, and I played rhythm and bass and some drums, half the drums. And half the drums were actually played by Mick, who's currently in Pettin,
Oh, right.
Oh, cool. Right, okay.
He used to be Mother's Ruins drummer, you know. So
Okay.
it's all in house, all kept in the family, isn't it? You know.
And then it was a more firm lineup for the second album, was it? Rather than you doing everything.
Oh no, and then that was just the you know, going in and recording it wise, you know.
Right.
And then I didn't have a band then, and so I had to rapidly find a band to go play gigs, because everybody was saying, well, the songs, the album sounds really great, you know, and we'd come up with the cover and all that stuff, and they said, this is marvelous, but you really need to get a band, because you really should go play this live. People would really be into this. So I just thought I was just going to put an album out and that would be me, you know. I wasn't really going to do that. And so anyway, I got talked into it, and yeah, and here we are, you know. What is it, 6 years later, you know? But the band, I got the band together and found various musicians through friends, really, and it took 2 months of rehearsals, and my first gig was Minehead, and the first week in January in 2017, you know, in front of a whole load of people, you know.
The Hard Rock Hell thing.
No, it wasn't Hard Rock Hell. I forgot the name of it now.
Giants.
Giants Hall. Yeah, it was the Giants Hall.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Well done.
And thank you.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm too old, you know. You know, I've not enough cider in me today. Obviously, it's just the water. and so we went down well, and everybody came up and said great things about us, and we just got stuck into it then, you know. So that was us, and and yeah, over the years now, Al, the bass player, and Paul, the drummer, are still the same guys that came out and said, yeah, let's get into this. And you know, it's great. I mean, we just played a gig 2 days ago there. We played in Derbyshire at the Southern Uprising Festival, and it was great. Outdoor festival. There it was. Freezing.
I'm going to ask about that actually. How did it go?
Yeah, freezing cold. You know, we got there about 7:30 at night. It was just starting to get dark, and you know, and we went on at 10 till about 11:30, and
right,
it was really good, you know. But like I say, freezing, marvelous light show, absolutely great, you know. So if any footage or any photos come out for it, you know, I've seen a couple of photos, but it's just marvelous. It was, you know. They've got all these screens going on behind us and all this stuff. It's really good.
That as well. Superb.
Yeah, but I don't know that's happening, obviously, because I'm not the one singing. And
yeah,
when I turn around and I go, oh God, what's this? That's great.
We had that.
Hey, there it is.
There you go.
See, we're organised here.
Awesome.
Yeah, it looks great.
It does look brilliant.
Yeah.
Really good. And any songs that go down better than others, Gary? Is there any particular tracks that really go down well?
Well, we brought back. We haven't played "Rockin' Man" as a track from the first album, and it's a boogie song, so it's a good bouncer, you know. And as soon as you play that kind of music, all the women start dancing, which leads to the men nodding a bit harder. They're looking at the women dancing. It's a knock-on effect. But yeah, those kind of songs. So Rockin' Man, we not played it for a while, like I say, and we thought, well, let's do it for that. Because obviously we were a late addition to that festival, and it was meant to be Skinny Molly, and they asked us because Skinny Molly weren't able to come over for some reason, whatever. And so they asked us to fill in for them. So we thought, well, you know, everything else was kind of country and southern sounding that was there, you know, and then on comes Burnt Out Wreck, who just play like straight ahead, banging rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, you know. So I thought, right, at least let's get 2 boogie songs in, you know. So that was that, Paddy Whack Rockin' Man, and yeah, it was good. It was really good, and yeah, we enjoyed it.
Cool. So I think you've always contributed to the writing as well, haven't you, over the years? Has that changed in the way that you approach that now?
No, it's just the same, just the same. It can come from anywhere, whether it's a guitar or whether it's just something I say, as you're having a laugh at yourself and you shout some nonsense, and then all of a sudden you think, oh, that'd be quite good as a chorus or whatever, or just a line in a song. So yeah, it's just the same. Mostly it's just guitar riffs I'll start with,
Yeah.
Just add a straight drum beat behind it on the computer and take it from there,
Do you do it all by yourself now, though, rather than co-write?
Yeah, just everything. Everything's just myself.
So you don't have to compromise.
Well, that's it. That's it. But I'm my publishers are they don't want me to be co-writing. They just want me to write the songs, and
Fair enough.
it was quite difficult at the start. When I was doing the first album, and thinking, I've got to do all of this myself, because usually I used to have Gordon for it, and just I would maybe, if it was my idea in the first place, then he'd take over all the middle of it for any chords and for the solos and stuff, because I'd just be like, have the singing, the verse, and the chorus that's going on, maybe the guitar riff for that, and so when you're then put in that situation where you have to come up with yourself, it was pretty difficult at first, but I've got used to it now, so yeah, I'm doing all right with it.
Yeah.
3 hours later, I must be.
Yeah, we love it. Go on, Joe.
You have those, so pretty much you have those tracks ready and down to then go in the studio, or is there still some leeway when you go in, or you've got them ready to just get?
Yeah, everything's done. I'll just record them all in the house, and on my on GarageBand, on the Mac, and just record them all, just basic, 2 guitars, bass, a straight drum beat, no fills, nothing fancy, and just the whole song start to finish, and then give it out to the guys, and they learn it, and then into the studio and bang it out from there,
Cool.
Yeah, keep it simple, keep it straight, that's it. Just build it up bit by bit. That's what we like. That's the way I like to do it anyway,
Brilliant. Well, they sound great. All 3 albums. We've downloaded all of them. So I was away all weekend listening to them all weekend. Love it. Really, really good. Some of them are quite expletive though, Gary, to be fair. So
the kids in the car.
And I like that, by the way. I think that's brilliant. But is there anything that's off limits?
There's only one naughty song on there on the 3 albums. What are you on about? What's it? We played that the other night. It went down well, by the way.
I bet it did.
The Head something, eh?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Love it. No, honestly, really love it. It's exactly the sort of music that I love listening to. So you've met. One of the other things we wanted to ask you is about some of the influential people that you've met over your career, a distinguished career as well. So, Gab, I'll come to you first. Who's your first one on the list?
Well, I got a bit of a soft spot for Brian May, so I was going to ask you about working with him.
Brian May, yeah, incredible. When we get told that he was going to pop along and listen to us in the rehearsal room in London, so and he came, and that was us. We just basically lost the plot,
Forgot how to play.
Yeah, it was like, you're just so nervous, and I mean, we were only, I was 22.
Wow.
And so it was such a big deal, because we got all the albums, and I used to play table tennis off my bedroom wall to, Bohemian Rhapsody and, all sorts. Just, yeah. And so he was a big hero. And for him to come into the room, it just blew us all away,
How did he hear about you?
Just through the record company, I suppose. I'm not 100% on who got a hold of him, but he had some downtime in his hands and in between whatever Crüe were doing, and he thought it'd be a good idea to get involved with, do a bit of production for some band. So he came along and he liked us and said, "Yeah, let's do that." So that was just fantastic. We learned a lot about vocals from him.
Right.
Especially just harmonies, vocal harmonies, and just how to group everybody's voices together, because obviously that's what Queen are famous for, it's all that.
God, that must be fascinating.
So it was great. He was great. He never played a guitar the whole time we were with him. Never picked one up.
God.
Wow.
That was recorded in London and Munich, was it?
Yeah. Townhouse in London. Yeah, it was great. We were in there, living it up, man, just living it up.
Fantastic. Yeah. And Pete Way as well. You were friends with Pete Way?
Yeah, at the end there, just before his death, we did go and support Pete on a handful of shows here and there, in the UK, and there he was, and it's a crazy poster, wasn't it? He's with the bass, but he was just the singer then, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was odd. Yeah.
Well, it's just that's
Just
what
his health, was it?
That's how we know it's Pete Way, isn't it? We all know him as that. This crazy, outrageous bass player, from UFO. Goodness sakes! I remember going to see them when they first came out, and they were just incredible. Everybody just thought that one was just amazing. And Michael Schenker with the long blonde hair and the way he played guitar. Goodness sake! But Pete, was he was great fun. I met him years ago. In fact, it was on the third album. He was in the recording studio next to us when we were
wow.
Big Bang with Waysted. And I had met him then, but we never really spoke because we were too busy doing what we were doing,
Right.
The recording. And so, that was quite a gap between then and then getting to go and play the gigs with him,
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what happened to him just after that tour.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Again, he was obviously we've never had the honour to meet such a guy, but it comes across as larger than life, such a personality. I mean, with big UFO, Stranger Than the Night, that live album, and that period with Pete Way and Schenker and Philmog, so charismatic, such a band, that late 70s UFO, something special. And he came across. It's not often you see that in a bass player, not put it down, but really shone through his personality, didn't it?
Oh yeah, he was everywhere, wasn't he? Everywhere.
Running around in his striped trousers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yes, fantastic.
That's where Steve Harris got it from.
Yeah,
Steve Harris, yeah.
And he fully admits it as well.
Yeah, I met Steve Harris as well. He flew to come and see Heavy Pettin in America when we were on tour in America with Mötley Crüe.
Oh, wow.
And we, in between playing at the big stadium gigs, we were playing like in clubs, and on our own, and you can go into these clubs and all they do is line dance or something, all night, and then Heavy Pettin turned up and stuff. I'm blasting there, like they're non-plus like me, take it or leave it, kind of drinking their whiskey kind of thing. But he said, "Oh, I'm going to come and see the band," so and he flew into where we were. I can't remember where it was, and the bugger missed the show by about 5 minutes. He just arrived just late, and we were gutted because we wanted him to see us, obviously to see us, and he wanted to see us. So, long time ago.
What were Mötley Crüe like?
Great story.
Mötley Crüe, well, what do you think they're like? Because what you think they're like is exactly what they're like,
Yeah.
We went over to America, and we ended up, we were on tour with Saxon first, on the Crusader tour. So it was us, then Accept, then Saxon, and we were playing in the big arenas, and that was just incredible, and then it became Mötley Crüe and Saxon and Heavy Pettin, and then, so everything gets jumbled around, as people move around America. It's so big. But when we ended up on the Mötley Crüe tour, it was Mötley Crüe, Accept, and then Heavy Pettin on first. And so when we met them, Nicky Sixx and Tommy Lee were just never out of our dressing room.
Brilliant.
For the minute we arrived in the building, they were in there, absolutely crazy buggers, and just got up with all sorts of shenanigans, I couldn't even tell you about it, it's just like some of it, and that was, oh no, really. Yeah, there was a fair amount of alcohol went down your neck on that.
I can well imagine.
There too, and we've seen some sights on there, and let me say that, opened our eyes a bit.
Enough said.
Well, probably a lot that you can't say is you've mentioned. Jam, you were going to ask a question about.
I think
go on.
Gary, I think you've actually already answered this. I was going to ask you if you've ever been starstruck, but when you were talking about, and there might be other examples, but you're talking about Brian May, and I mean, Gavin and I are big Queen fans. And I particularly, especially with thing with Queen, you've got the whole band and certain records like News of the World. It's my favourite Queen record, News of the World. It's got great songs written by all of, as far as songwriters, written by all of the different members of the band. It's just so amazing. But anyone else that you've ever been actually starstruck by?
Really starstruck?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
That's cool. So Brian May was, and that makes total sense to me. I thought you might have already covered it. Yeah, no, that's cool.
No, I mean, you end up meeting everybody backstage at these festivals, and you see them all. I can't off the top of my head think somebody had got me speechless,
Cool.
I've seen it happening to people, but I can't really remember if it did.
Well, you just didn't happen when Gav met you in '87. He'd just been there going,
Yeah.
I was with Gav.
I was so starstruck. The signature got smudged.
Yeah, so you just see Gav, he's not that good, are you, Gavin? But yeah, all good.
Okay, excellent, brilliant. So your latest album, I don't know if you want to get that picture up, Gav, if you can, just to get around that. Gaps, you've got a couple of questions around the new album. I know you've been listening to it a lot over the last 2 or 3 weeks. So
Indeed.
Do you want to?
Yeah, Gary, we tempted, because you're a drummer and you play rhythm guitar and you sing, obviously. Were you just tempted to play all the instruments on the new album and just have another lead guitar player just fill in?
I would like to do it, but I don't think I would have a band to go on the road with if I did it.
Kind of already covered that off in what you've said before, but do you miss playing the drums?
No, I don't.
No?
No, I don't miss lugging it around. I help.
True that.
I help Paul, my drummer, at the gigs and that, because I help him set up sometimes, and carrying the stuff in, because obviously, you don't get enough money these days to have a road crew, so you've got to get it in there, and sometimes it's just that tight that you got to just be everybody on it. Come on, get on it, and they're away looking for a drink and having a laugh and people talking to them or whatever, and you're like, so no, but I don't miss. But sometimes I'll have a wee whack at them in their rehearsal studio or whatever, But, no, I prefer singing. I prefer being up the front now, definitely.
Yeah, well, your voice is fantastic. There's a few standout tracks on the album for me, more than anything. Pain and Suffering, Blood, Sweat and Tears. In fact, I like all the long songs, actually. I like all the longer songs more than all the other ones. Take It or Leave It as well. I mean, that's just a fantastic song. Do you have any say in the running order for the albums? Is it all your say?
Yes, it's me. It's just, I just look at it and just think, okay, so on this album, on This Is Hell, I started off with Dead or Alive, which is a fast track, so right in there, bang, off we go, heads down. But on this one, I just started with Big Up Yourself.
Start with a really slow one, yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, because it's a real heavy song, really, when it gets going, and it's just a big riff, So yeah, I just thought it would be different.
The riffs are big,
and then just try and figure out what goes, what will be the last song, and so that was easy because it was always gonna be the country song,
That's a great song. It's really good. It's really diverse for that album as well. It's fantastic. It's some really great backing vocals on that track.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's me. That's just me. It's
so you're doing all the vocal?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, they just played their instruments on it, really. It's that was just the way that it worked out in the studio this time. But I went in to do that. I'm a Loser Too. And it was just that I had that song for years, and I just thought, if I don't record, I need to record it, So
that's a good song. There's nothing wrong with it.
And done the music, and then I went in to sing it, and Steve Rispin, the producer, he's waiting for it, and he hadn't heard it. There was no demo for this. This was just something that was we just done, So, and so I start singing it, and then I just see him like through the window as I'm in the room next door, and he's like laughing, and I'm singing away, and then when it comes to the backing vocals, I start singing the harmony and in the verse and stuff, and he says, "Fuck me, it's the Everly Brothers," And I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm getting upset, and then I thought, oh no, maybe it does sound a bit like the Everly Brothers. It is that harmony. No, but yeah, so it was good. It was good to do, and
I was going to touch on the production, Gary. I was going to say about the production on Stand and Fighter, it's awesome. I was going to say well done to Steve Rispin. I was going to say, how much involvement do you have on the actual production? Do you let Steve twiddle all the knobs, or do you have are you leaning over his shoulder? Because it was just produced by him, wasn't it, the latest record? Yeah,
because he works so hard, and he puts up with me. I don't know how he puts up with me, but he does, and he's just he's a smashing engineer, smashing producer. He's just, you see him working a desk on the, just doing this as we're recording, and the speed of the guy, he's been doing it for years, and it's just he doesn't even have to think about it,
Mm.
But yeah, for the day that I met him, we got on so well. He's I think he's a year or two younger than me. I think, so, and he's worked with so many big name people. It's just crazy.
Oh, he knows stuff, and the record. We keep saying record. The album, whatever you want to call it, the album. The production is just immense. It comes through so well.
Yeah.
I mean,
right. It really is.
So good.
I love the stereo separation of the guitars as well.
Yeah, we're big into that.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I don't think Steve's big into that, you know. If you go back to the first album, they're not separated, you know. It's like you've got everything down the middle, you know, and I think that's from the prog rock sort of days of people that he's worked with in the past. And then I said to him, "Look, I don't like that. I'm left and right, if you don't mind, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, I want it to sound like a band stood in front of me.
AC/DC, yeah,
You know, and I've always been that way, you know. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, the production on it is great, and you know, we just went in the studio, recorded it, and then we ended up in his house. Actually, he has all his gear set up in the house, and I went there, and it was just me and him then, because once we had recorded all the parts, then you know, there's no need for everybody to be there, as it were. You're just in there working away, and yeah, I just sit there smiling because I just love watching what he's getting up to, what he does, and how you do it. You know, I'm learning myself from that. You know, but yeah, I've got a really big input into how it is and what it is, obviously, because it's my baby, isn't it? You know.
yeah.
Quite right. As far as just for anyone that's watching this that hasn't got the album, the latest album, where can they get it? You're showing physical copies. Whereabouts can they get it from?
Physical copies. Yeah, I've got. Yeah,
Do you have a website, or is it Amazon?
I think that you can't buy it from the website. You know, the website. So it's just wherever they've got it for sale, really. And Amazon is the main, I suppose, especially all straight from Cadiz Records, you know, and Cadiz Music, you know. If you want to buy that, but if you want to download it, then I guess you can get it. You can get it, innit?
Yeah. What about vinyl? We're a bit. You've got some record listeners here on us four. It binds us. I've not seen this. You've not done any of those first three records. None of them been out on vinyl yet, have they?
No, we didn't really know when we were going to go into the studio, and I think that when everybody went into lockdown and stuff there, you know, and we went in at the end of 21 to record it, so there was still a lot of nonsense going on in 2021, wasn't there? And then people just get a hold of vinyl, you know, they had to book it so far in advance because
that's right,
yeah, you're right,
you know, and it was all getting made not in the UK, it was all in Europe somewhere that people were getting it from, and then, you know, so big delays, you know, so we just never went for it, and at the end of the day, it's very expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, we will look out for it. Hopefully, you do get it on vinyl at some point as you hit the stratospheric realms of rock stardom even further than you already are. You played some gigs, and look, we're all big AC/DC fans, me in particular, and I've tried to get these boys to come up from the south and get up to Bombfest at some point. Now, you played Bombfest, I believe. What was that like?
Yeah, Bombfest is a great festival. All dedicated to Bon Scott, obviously. But yeah, we've played it twice. We played the Town Hall in Kirriemuir. The first time we played it, that was packed, and the whole town becomes just one massive drunken AC/DC sing along. I think every pub's get bands in it. Everybody all just really having a great thing, and they have this. When they open it, they've got the pipers and stuff on the back of an articulated lorry back, and there's a band playing, you know, a long way to the top and stuff, and it's a bit of a do, really, you know. But second time we played in it's outside the town. It's in a field, and that's where all the big marquee and the main stage was. And so that was the second time, and it was good. It's a good festival. It's just good.
And when you do these gigs, do you, especially the ones like Bombfest and Hard Rock Hell, do you just go out for one night? Do you go out for the day, or do you stay for the weekend?
Well, Bombfest, obviously, we stayed up there, but we're lucky because my bass player lives in just outside Glasgow. So we made it down to there and then stayed in Owls. So that was good. Look at that picture. What am I doing now?
So review.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, Jam. I think you've got. I think we've already touched on Uprising a little bit. Is there anything else you wanted to add on that?
No, we're thinking going forward. You got what gigs? Have we got some gigs coming up soon? Where can everyone see you? Have you got you got a slide for that, Gab? Oh, the Hard Rock Hell, where you're playing the sold out.
That's the next one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the next gig, isn't it? Hard Rock Hell.
Hard Rock Hell. We're also playing in the Waterloo Bar in Blackpool.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. The second, Hellfest. Yeah. And we've never played in Sheffield, so that'll be a new one for us, you know. That should be good, you know. And I'm looking forward to all of those dates, obviously. But I think the Hard Rock Hell thing, that'll be great because, you know, it's quite a big stage, big event. So it's just good fun, you know. And we've played about 3 of them in the past now, and we've always had a great reception. So.
We've been a couple of times. We've been a couple of times. We haven't been when you've been there, unfortunately, but we've been a couple of times. It's a great weekend. Will you be going for the weekend for that, or just for the day? How will you work that one?
Well, it's in Yarmouth, so it's only just over 2.5. It's about 2.5 hours away from where I am.
Yeah.
So I'll just drive there and just drive back again.
Cool.
When it was up in Wales, we played the 2 in Wales. We stayed in caravans, so you know we did stay, and that was good because you know the first one we played UFO, they were headlining it, so we stayed right to the end, and then that was great. I really enjoyed watching that because I sang every song. Not often I do that because you know I don't really listen to any music or anything. No.
Well, I was going to say, what about any bands with your connections? Any new bands out there that you like the look of, that you like the sound of? Anyone that you've come into contact with? You'd want to recommend for any of us boys?
Not really. Not new bands. I just don't. You know, I just don't. I'm getting too old. I think. You know.
Yeah.
You say a new band, and I'll say Airborne to you. You know. And I like them. I wonder why I like them. You know?
Yeah. Fair play. No fair dues.
Okay, brilliant. Gaps, I think you got a question around gigs.
Yeah, Gary, what's the best gig you've ever played? I know that might be a quite hard question to answer straight off the bat, but what do you reckon?
Is this with both bands?
Wherever, yeah.
Wherever.
Oh, with both, yeah. Whatever you.
This Wembley was pretty good.
I think it was, you know. I mean, you know, on the Ozzy tour, I think that some of the things that the gigs we've done there were just brilliant, you know, just brilliant gigs. You know, Stafford Bingley Hall with Kiss. Like, you know, I remember looking at that and I just thought, geez, look at this crowd. It was just like the ocean going up and down and up and down, you know, and swaying and back. Man, it was scary. And we were sat on a scaffolding stage. I was, you know, and, you know, we 8x4 plywood boards as the floor, you know, and it was just bouncing and just moving. I thought, they're going to kill us, man. It's just the whole thing. You know, but playing wise, just that, you know, and like I say, with Ozzy as well. So probably that when we were first out and we were first so keen and eager, you know, to do it really and to get our message across, whatever that might have been, you know, for 5 drunk Scotsmen, you know.
These sounds like good times.
Yeah.
But you know, it just you know, some of the things on the Aussie thing, well, the craziest thing was the guy that threw firecrackers at me.
Really?
Really freaked me the hell out, you know. Somebody hit me in the head with a full pack of fags. I think there was one missing from it. God, there was a guy in front of the audience with his thumb up, you know. All right. And I'm like, all right, aye, thanks. I don't smoke, but thanks very much. You know, and but honestly, just playing away, you know, and playing Hell is Beautiful, I think, last song, double bass drum. So the old legs are giving it, you know, and all of a sudden this nut job chucked jumping jacks right in between my legs.
Oh, God.
No.
And, you know, as you probably know, I went on stage in just a little pair of blooming black pants, knickers, right? And that was like Speedos, you know. And you know, then because it was so hot on stage and under all the lights and that, you know, so you just couldn't go in with trousers when you play the drum. But anyway, so that happened, and they were just banging, and I'm trying to keep the bloody beat, and I'm like, what's going on? The band are just going, what's up with you? You know, what's up with me? I'll tell you later.
You're on fire that night.
And you know, with all the filming of concerts now, that would have gone viral. You'd have had millions of views of that now.
I know. Ain't it just?
Yeah, mental.
Late to the blue.
Brilliant. Okay, well, look, one final question for you, Gary. What's next? New album, new tour? What's on the horizon?
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of interest coming in from Europe just recently. I don't know what's going on out there on the planet, but somebody somewhere has been talking about us. And so we've had quite a few promoters, Greece, Spain, Italy, you know, France.
Cool.
And
Wow.
It would be great to get across the water and have ourselves on some of those festivals that goes on over there, because, you know, they seem to be very much still into rock, and
Absolutely. Crazy over there.
and some of the footage I've seen of some of the bands playing over there, yeah, they've been just great audiences, you know. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for next year. But yeah, so hopefully that'll happen. I think it's mostly from the summer to later on in the year, I think. But that should be good. But yeah, I mean, I've not got any definite plans for recording. But you never know, because you just don't know. I might have an influx of brain power for writing 6 songs in a day or something, you know. I'll just want them out of the way, so you never know. I don't, you know, I've got songs, obviously, but I'm just looking for some really good things, because something is. I know that the new album's good and that, but I still like, personally, I like This Is Hell. It's as a complete album, it's a better album, you know. It's just dirty and heavy, and it's all banging at you. You know, it just doesn't let up. So,
Okay.
not that I don't like the new album or the songs, right? That's not. It's a more diverse album, you know. Stand and Fight. It's just got lots of different influences that I've got in me, you know. And as you know,
I love the new album.
Yeah. Well, look, for anyone that's watching, and for all of our followers, I'd really, really encourage you to download any of the albums. They're all really good. The latest one in particular, absolutely fantastic. Gary, it's been an absolute pleasure and honour to have you on the show tonight, and I hope the rest of the guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. I think it's been real insight, and
So
honestly, it's been great. And we will come and see you. Trust me, we'll rock up, and we'll get you a beer at the bar for sure. So I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all enjoyed that today. As I've already said, I think we've got some links to that Gav's going to share in a minute, which are for us. So as always, on Facebook, Tales from the PowerAge, on X, formerly Twitter, Tales from the PowerAge, TTFTPR. You can find us online at talesfromthepowerage.com. If you're thinking about buying some merchandise, you can from Redbubble, but please before you do that, download some of Gary's stuff on Burnt Out Rec. It's fantastic, and you're going to love it. Trust me. So, Gary, thanks so much. It's been brilliant. We've really enjoyed it. Anything you want to say before we go, guys?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Gary. It's been brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, some good stories there. Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on. You know, it's
Very welcome.
a pleasure, and yeah, I thought I was in for it. 4 people interviewing me at the one time, you know, for the
Harmless.
But you're very kind to me, so that's good.
Top man.
Thanks a lot, Gary. You've been brilliant.